Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the entire process that I took to make this gorgeous frozen birthday cake, including the cake topper. So if you're interested, keep on watching. My first stop was Smart Food Service, where I picked up 4 pounds of butter, 4 cartons of egg whites, and a jug of buttermilk. I'm also here in the fruit filling section, and I picked up a tube of strawberry filling and a tube of Bavarian filling. I also wanted to show you guys the whipped toppings that they do sell at the store in case you're interested. I did not pick up any on this trip. I just got done at Smart Food Service. I'm trying to see if I can. That's what it looks like. That's the store sign. Okay, so here's the store that I went to today. It's called Nancy's Fancies. You can see there it's candy cake, wedding, and supplies. Okay guys, it is 2 days later, which is Thursday night, and I'm gonna go ahead and do all of my baking. The first thing I'm doing here in this clip is cutting out wax paper circles for my cake pans. I'm cutting 2 circles for my 2 7-inches and 2 circles for my 2 9-inch cake pans. And this just helps to make sure the cake does not stick. Hey guys, I'm starting off by making my vanilla cake. I'm doing 2 9-inch cakes. One is by 2 inch, one is by 3 inch, and the same thing with my 7-inch. I know some of you guys are going to ask me about my different pans, and I'm planning on doing a future video about just about all of my cake pans. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. This is my vanilla. This is going to go in my 9-inch cake pans. I am doing a mix for the vanilla. I'm going to bake the chocolate from scratch, but the vanilla will be using a mix. This is a mix that I buy. You can buy this at Smart & Final, or you can buy this at Smart Food Service. Moist White Cake Mix. It's a big bag, 4-pound bag, and I'm doing a half a bag because I had a half bag left, which is this one right here, the half package. So I'm just gonna follow the directions. I did weigh it, 7.5 cups. It comes out to be 2 pounds and 4 ounces, so exactly the half of the total weight. And then I'm gonna do 2 1/4 cups of milk, but I'm gonna use buttermilk instead of regular milk. And then I'll do 8 egg whites, and I have liquid egg whites for that. This is not the package that I bought this time. This is actually what I have left over from the last time I baked. And then the oil, I'll be doing 2/3 cup of oil. I also added in 2 boxes of these Hershey's white chocolate pudding mix, and then I am going to put a tiny bit of this Mexican vanilla in there. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, and I'll be back. So I am beginning to do the white cake mix, adding in my buttermilk, and then adding in my cartoned egg whites, just following the bag directions, and then adding in the oil and going ahead and mixing that up with a nice whisk, and then adding a little bit of my Mexican vanilla into that. And after I mix these, I go ahead and get started on preparing the pans. I do use a baking spray that I get from Smart & Final to spray the sides. And then I add in my wax paper. I did forget to add in my baking nails or my heating nails, but I do remember right now and put those in underneath the wax paper. And then I'm dividing my batter between the 2 pans. 2/3 of the batter goes in the 3-inch pan, and then 1/3 goes in the 2-inch pan. And here we are starting on my chocolate cake recipe. I am beginning by measuring out my flour and putting that into a sieve, into a large bowl. I'm gonna sift it. Super important to sift your ingredients. I'm adding in my sugar and running that through the sieve as well. And then after this, I'm going to bring out my delicious dark Dutch processed cocoa powder that I got from webstaurantstore.com. I highly recommend it. It is delicious cocoa and it really does add a delicious dark flavor to the cake. Here, of course, adding my leavening, my baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and sifting it all together. Guys, so we are starting on our chocolate cake mix, on our chocolate cake. It's from scratch. You guys saw me measure out all the ingredients right here. It is the normal Hershey's chocolate cake mix. I just use a really good Dutch cocoa, and I put in an extra half teaspoon of baking soda to kind of counteract the buttermilk. So I have in here 1 cup of buttermilk, plus my vanilla, and I have to add half a cup of oil. So I'm gonna mix all the wet ingredients, finish sifting the dry, and then mix them together. Okay, now I am adding in all of my wet ingredients to my eggs, and I'm gonna give that a good whisk, poking the yolks, making sure I break those up, and then finishing the sieving of my dry ingredients. I'm then going to add the dry to the wet and mix that up. If you guys notice right here in the bowl, there's a little crack and it ends up breaking, and so I have to go ahead and change all my batter into the other bowl and end up throwing this green bowl away, which I'm sad about because I honestly love that bowl. After it's all mixed in, the last step is to add in a cup of boiling water and mix that in. This does create really thin cake batter, but I promise you guys this cake is super delicious and moist. And so this I'm going to pour into my 7-inch cake pans, prepared the same way as I did with my 9 inches, spraying them with that spray, putting in parchment paper, and then a heating core in the 3-inch tall pan. So 3 of my cakes are out of the oven. I'm just waiting for them to cool. I have here my 9-inch vanilla. It's nice and springy, and then you can kind of see the, you can't see where the center nail is, but it's somewhere in there. Here's my 7-inch chocolate. It sunk a little bit in the middle, and that's my fault because I thought this cake, well, I went in to check the vanilla cakes, and I decided this looked mostly cooked in the middle. So I took my little toothpick, or my skewer thing, and I put it in the middle, and when I put it in, it like deflated. So, and it wasn't done baking, so that was definitely my fault. So yeah, but this is done, and then this one is done as well. Okay guys, I'm trying to be really quiet because everybody's sleeping since it's almost 1 a.m. But I've taken all the cakes out of their pans, and then they're still pretty warm, but I'm covering them all in plastic wrap in this one, and they're gonna go in my cake refrigerator that I have outside. It's just outside my kitchen, and I keep all of my cake stuff in there so it doesn't take up room in my normal refrigerator. So I'm just waiting for my taller chocolate cake, which just came out of the oven. Letting this cool down a bit before I wrap it, but it looks great. It's still pretty hot at this point, but I need to go to bed, so I'm gonna take it out anyways. And I thought I would show you guys so you could see. This is what the what it looks like, the little thing that I use in the center of my deep cakes. It helps my cakes to cook without you know, the outside being cooked way faster than the inside and then getting hard tough outside, so that helps. And I put that under the paper. So here's the paper layer, and then the thing went there. I'm gonna leave the paper on it, and I'm gonna wrap this guy up. Okay, there are my cakes. I'm gonna put them in the fridge outside. It's Friday, it's 1:07 p.m. and I'm here in my office working on a cake topper. So I have these files here in Cricut Design Space, and I looked through my papers because I forgot to go to Joann's to buy paper for the cake topper, but I did find in the papers that I already have these two colors, which I think will work well. So these two, and then I only have some black, some scraps of other colors, and some red. So I'm gonna see if I can make a cake topper that's nice using only these two papers. I have more of them, but these two colors. This is the original plan that I had for if I picked another paper, because I wanted this stuff to be in silver. But I'm gonna see if I can come up with something that'll look nice. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I've kind of figured out what I want. So what I've decided is to do something like this. And so the three different colors will be cut out, and I'll have a stick behind here, and this will be flush on the cake, this part, and then I'll have a stick coming down here that will go into the cake. And then I have little Food Safe My Deco Pack figurines, which are 2.5 inches tall, so 1, 2.5, so they'll reach around here, and I'll have them standing on top of the cake as well, and then hopefully that will look good. I will, if I don't like it, I might just end up just using the castle with the Nova on it, because these pieces will all have to be glued together anyways. And if that happens, then I can just save this happy birthday for another event or another party. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all these things out. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble the cakes. So this cake right here, I believe, is the 9-inch, and I'm cutting the rounded top off of that one. This is also the one that I baked in the 3-inch deep pan, so I'm cutting that one in half to get 2 layers out of it, and then cutting off the top one of my cake that was baked in the 9x2 pan. Here on the side, I'm filling my pastry bag with my plain white buttercream. And then now I'm going ahead and starting the layering process. I am putting the cake on, and then putting on some of my simple syrup, then a layer of my strawberry filling, and then after that a layer of my strawberry cream filling. The cream filling is just some of that same kind of strawberry curd mixed in with some whipped cream and fresh berries, and it's one of my most popular fillings. So I'm continuing that on, and then going ahead and doing a crumb coat all over the cake. Now I'm repeating the same process with my chocolate cake, cutting off the top of this one, and then on the other one, this one I think came out pretty flat, and I decided not to cut the top off, just to cut it in half. And again, repeating the process, except this cake I'm making on a board that is the exact same size as the cake, because this is going to be my top tier. So again, putting a layer of my straight strawberry filling, then a thick layer of my strawberry cream filling, and then the cake. This cake is super duper moist, so it doesn't require as much simple syrup. And then here we are crumb coating this top layer. Okay, so here I am trying to smooth out the sides the best as I can. As you guys can see, some of the strawberry filling is coming out the sides, but that's okay because this buttercream that I use does crust. So I'm going to do the best I can, put it in the fridge, let it chill and let it crust, and then I can do a nicer coating when it comes back out of the fridge later. Here I am starting on the rosettes on the bottom cake. I'm using, I believe, a 1M Wilton tip and doing one row of lilac rosettes, one row of blue rosettes, and then one final one of baby blue. The baby blue one is just the leftover blue that I had, to which I added some more white buttercream. And on this one, again, bringing this out to do our final coat, I'm just putting a thick layer of the blue icing on the outside, and I'm going to be scraping most of that off. I do sometimes use a quick ice, but in this instance, because it's such a small cake, I thought it'd be easier just to go ahead and do it with my spatula. And also, it's less dishes for me to clean. I kind of hate having to clean tips, so I try to do my decorating with the least amount of tips as possible. Now I am going ahead and doweling the bottom tier. I'm using these big dowels from Wilton, these big plastic ones. I'll be honest, I don't really like them. They're very difficult to cut, and they're a lot more work than using what I normally use, which are boba straws. I find boba straws are way easier to get even and to cut, and they are really strong. They're strong enough for the cake, so that's what I normally use, but I didn't have any. And as you guys will see here, as I'm stacking the cake, which I believe I stacked on the next day, they didn't come out as straight as I would have hoped, and how straight they usually come out when I do it on a boba cake or using boba straws. So I am just trying my best to kind of fill in those gaps and make it not noticeable that they were a little bit uneven. Here I am inserting a central dowel. I only recently started putting a central dowel in my cakes, and I do think it helps with transportation. And then here I am putting on the cake toppers and the rest of the decorations on my cake. I forgot to film me gluing together the toppers, but I think pretty self-explanatory, just putting glue and gluing on the rods. And then of course adding these gorgeous snowflakes that I got at my cake supply store, and they were on sale since it's the middle of summer. I got them on sale. So here's how the cake looked at the end. You guys will see there's a little tiny gap that needs another rosette, and I did end up filling that in before I delivered the cake to the client. Guys, so my cake is assembled and it's in the refrigerator outside. As you guys saw, I put on all the toppers and I took pictures of it, and then it did not fit how I wanted to in my fridge, so I went ahead and took off the toppers and put them in this little thing. Just like a manila folder, but it's pink, and I folded it and put some staples in to hold the sticks in place, and then put the whole thing inside of a plastic page protector. And I'm gonna give this to her like this, along with me texting her the picture so she knows where they go, and also the little holes that they went to will still be on the cake so she knows how to put them in. And then this is how I'm going to box it up. So normally if I was doing a huge quinceañera cake, I would get like as big of a box as I could, or a box to fit the drum, and I would put the box like this. I would then take my knife and cut on each side, and then put my liner in there and take the whole flap down, put the whole cake in, and then if I'm delivering it, that's how I would deliver it. And I would probably put like a piece of foil on top, or plastic or something, or just make sure that it's in a part of my car that has tinted windows. But because she's picking it up and I want it to be extra I guess stable for her, I'm actually laying the box down sideways. I measured it and it is tall enough because it's 12 going this way, but this way and that way is 14. So it's enough for the cake without the toppers. So what I'm gonna do is put in this shelf liner. You guys can get this roll of shelf liner at Walmart for 97 cents, or you can get them at the Dollar Tree. I've seen them at the Dollar Tree. So a clean new piece of shelf liner. It's gonna go right there. And then I'm gonna tape it down on both sides, and then my whole cake will go in there. And then for the 4 sides, I've just made these on adhesive paper, and I just cut them. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick one on all 4 on the outsides, so it's easy for them to know and so that nobody messes it up. And what I'm gonna do right now is test to make sure that the cake fits inside, and before I do anything else, that way if it doesn't, I can do it the other way. So I'll be right back. So this is the finished cake. After this, I did forget to get video of me delivering the cake. Yes, I did deliver the cake, even though my client had said that she would come and pick up the cake. She's supposed to pick it up at 1, and I was ready for her to come pick it up at 1, and she didn't show up, and I gave her until 2. And at 2 p.m. when she still hadn't showed up, I decided to message her and find out what was going on. And it turns out she couldn't come pick up the cake after all. And she asked me if there was any way I could deliver the cake. Now, mind you, she had already paid me. I had already been fully paid, so I was not really too worried about having the cake in my fridge. But I did feel bad. I didn't want her to lose out on the cake because she couldn't get it to her. So I did go ahead and charge her a delivery fee, more than what my normal delivery fee is. I charged her about 3 times my normal delivery fee, and I was able to deliver it to her without any issues. Anything can happen in the cake world, I guess. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.